Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy, Fantasy Basketball, TITTH number 142. I'm your host, Justin Bruni, but I got Stephen Hammond with me tonight. How are we doing, Steve?
I'm doing good. How are you, Justin?
Doing good. I got my second COVID shot yesterday, so other than it feeling like Chuck Norris just like punched me right in the arm, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing all right. Been working from home, so I got kind of a different setup here, a little bit different than sitting back in the recliner. But ready to get into it, ready to talk some basketball. How's everything going with you?
It's going good. This is actually tomorrow's my Friday. I get to I'm taking a half day tomorrow to go stand in the line at the DMV. So that's going to be real exciting. But hey, one step closer to the weekend.
Yeah, right on. Man, I really don't like going to the DMV. It's not one of my favorite places to visit. Yeah, let's clock in here, though. Let's get to it. We can start with our monkey guys. We won't have any fancy waiver wire tonight, but we will touch on some of the remaining games left in the NBA. We'll be off next week, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks in full swing with the playoffs. So for right now, let's jump into the monkey knife fight props. What do you got, Steve? You got them up?
Yep. So first up, we got Jason Tatum over under 28.5 points paired with Colin Sexton over under 26.5 points. What do you got?
I like Sexton on the under, and I think Tatum goes over. They're missing a lot of pieces tonight. No Kemba, no Robert Williams, no Marcus Smart. So I'll go over for Tatum and under for Sexton. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree with you on that one. I think Jason Tatum goes over. It's a tall task for him, high number, but no Jaylen Brown. They're banged up, and Cleveland just doesn't play defense. Colin Sexton, there's a slight chance he goes over that just because he's somewhat of a ball hog, but I'm going to ride with the under there.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to have much competition at point, right? He's got Peyton Pritchard up there and Romeo Langford. Opportunities there, but I could just see him get pulled, after the game's out of contention. No need to risk his health, right? Next up, we've got Kyrie, Irving, and Demar Derozan. Now Kyrie's out tonight, so I guess we'll pass up on that one. So next up, we've got Luka Doncic and Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball over under 18.5 points. Luka over under 28.5.
Ooh.
Getting Lonzo Ball on here with Zion breaking his finger.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to ride with the over on Lonzo Ball, actually. He's been shooting the ball better lately. He's kind of coming to his own behind the three-point line. Luka's a tough one, though. I think I'm going to have to go under. It's just too tall of a number for me. 28.5, a little bit too high. So I'll go the under.
Yeah, Lonzo's actually out. I don't know where Monkey Knife Fight's coming with these early lines here, but it looks like he's out tonight because I was like, hey, why isn't he in the starting lineup? So not another weird one. Let's switch that one up, actually. Let's get Eric Bledsoe the 18.5. What do you think? Eric Bledsoe 18.5 over under?
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? I'll give him 19. They're banged up, so I think he can do it.
Yeah, give me the over for Eric Bledsoe there. For Luka, yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, the dude's just scoring like crazy. I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing Porzingis in or out tonight. Looks like he's still a game time decision. If he's out, I think there's definitely a lot more upside. JJ Redick's out tonight. So, yeah, give me the over for Luka and also the over for a guy like Eric Bledsoe or Alexander Walker. Either of those guys would be just fine for me hitting something like that. What's the next one we got up?
We got Dame Lillard over under 28.5 points. A lot of 28.5 points tonight. And we got Bogdanovich for the Jazz over under 23.5. What do you got?
It's a good number for Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
I'll go over for Bogdanovich and under for Dame.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to take both overs. This is a super big game for the Trailblazers here. They need to do some winning here to kind of sure up their spot so that the Lakers don't sneak in there for that. I believe it's 6th spot. So I'm going to take the over there. I think he gets going. And I like you said, I really like that number for Bogdanovich. I was actually seeing it a little bit lower on the sports book that I use on DraftKings, but it was terrible odds. You were getting it at like minus 143, and I was seeing it about 21. So I like the over there, though. They're still without Donovan Mitchell. Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovich have been filling in for them. So I like the over there, too.
Yeah, I just like Bogdanovich to get a lot of opportunities shooting outside. Obviously, they shoot a lot of threes in Utah. But with Dame, I feel like they'll just spread the ball around more. Obviously, they have a lot more shooting weapons right now. And without Donovan Mitchell healthy, I feel like Bogdanovich just gets that extra bit of shooting volume. So I'll go over for Bogdanovich. It'll be close, but I got the under for Dame Lillard under the 28.5. He's just always scoring. That's why the numbers are always that high. So eventually he's got to fall off it a little bit. All right, let's jump into our game previews. But before we do, be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/take it to the Hizzy. Let's go. All right, first up, we've got the Wizards and Washington right now. I'm looking at Atlanta. The Wizards and Atlanta. Atlanta's up now 31-25. Coming in, they were a 6-point favorite at home, minus 260 on the money line, and over-under was at 238.5. Who are you going with this in this one?
It's tough, but I'm going to go. I think the Wizards can cover. Russell Westbrook, we all know he's been on a tear, triple-double machine.
Right.
I like them to cover there. I don't know if they'll win that game, though. What do you think?
I like Washington to cover. They just played Atlanta and they lost by 1, and that was still without Bradley Beal, who looks like he's going to finish the season, just injured. Looks like they're going to try to hold him out for playoffs. So I do like Atlanta to win. I like the Wizards to cover. The over is hit, pretty heavily for both teams recently. Was Atlanta 4-2 in their last 6, Washington 6-3 in their last 9. Do we have enough scoring options though here with Beal out? Obviously they hit the number in the last game. I think they soared over this number in the last game actually.
I still like the over. I think we've seen I know I mentioned this last week. We've seen just crazy amounts of points being put up in NBA games lately. I don't know if it's just, teams being tired this late in the season. Not really sure what it is. I like the over on both. I like actually one of my best bets for the night. I had Trey Young over 26.5 points. So I like both teams to go over.
Okay, yeah, I like the over as well. Like I said, in their last matchup, 124-125, hitting that 249. So I think that we should feel pretty comfortable about it. Obviously they're playing each other, back to back. So maybe there's a little bit better defense, but a lot of scoring right now. I'm looking at 33-27, and we have about 30 seconds left in the first quarter. So we're well on our way here. What's that? 60 points, 60 by 4, 240. So I like that. We're way into the positive territory to hit that over. So yeah, let's ride with that. And we'll jump into some live betting opportunities here in a bit. We'll check back in this game. Next up, we've got the Spurs traveling to Brooklyn. They come in as 5-point dogs. Over-unders at 232.5, plus 175 on the money line. You like Brooklyn here. No Kyrie tonight, but we're getting James Harden back, it looks like.
Yeah, I like James Harden, like I had mentioned before the show. This number had been fluctuating a lot through the day. I checked it about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it was at 5.5. Then I saw it trend about 2 hours later. I saw it trend down to 4.5. I snagged it there. I still like it at this 5. I think the Nets, James Harden maybe starts a little slow, but I think he gets in his bag, and just not much for the Spurs as of late.
Yeah, absolutely. To that point, Spurs 4-6 straight up in their last 10, but they have been covering 6-3-1. Do you like them on the spread at all? Do you like them to cover?
No, I think I'm still going to go with the Nets. Nets were able to, granted, the Spurs might be a little bit better than the Bulls, but the Nets were able to cover. I think it was about an 8-point game, so I expect a lot of the same tonight.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn will cover as well. I would have taken them at the -4. I saw that pretty consistently today, but I just took them money line. So I have the Hawks and the Nets combined in a parlay that I'll wrap up here once we get all the games through. But I do like them tonight a lot, especially with the return of James Harden. Would have been nice to have Kyrie in as well, but I would like to see some props on Landry Shamet. I was trying to dig for some, but I couldn't get any out of Jazz Sports. They didn't plug any Nets players on there whatsoever, so that was a little disappointing. Nets are 6-4 ATS straight up in their last 10, but the under has actually hit 5 out of their last 6 games. Do you think that we can hit the over tonight? We're looking at where did you run off to? Spurs and Nets 232.5. Yeah, it seems kind of tall. Seems like a big number.
It does seem tall, especially last night. You saw the Nets; their scoring was evenly distributed. You had a lot of people. I think Kevin Durant maybe was their leading scorer with about 21 last night. Kyrie was off. Obviously, he's out tonight. I don't think the Spurs do their part. I think you're going to see this trend under. I'd guess more in maybe like the 220, 222 range.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going to be going with the under there. I just think the 232 is too tall for the Spurs, who usually aren't getting a total like that. This is obviously the Nets, presence, jacking up that number. I'm going to take the under there. I think that's just too tall in order for the Spurs. I agree. Next up, we've got the Celtics and the Cavs. Celtics traveling to Cleveland, 6.5-point favorites on the road. Over under is at a flat 219, and the Celtics are minus 250 on the money line. Cleveland is plus 200. Like we mentioned before, obviously no Jaylen Brown. We'll talk a little bit about him later, but no Marcus Smart, no Kemba Walker, no Robert Williams. I mean, honestly, I still love the Celtics on the spread. I did buy it down a point. I took them down to 5.5, but out of their last 20 games, the Cavaliers have only covered 5.5 points twice, 2 out of 20. So I just think that they're just trying to tank as far as they can. There are some teams still ahead of them in that respect, like Detroit and Houston, that no one's really going to catch Houston. They're just in like a full plummet dive right now. But I feel like that's going to up your chances to get a really good lottery pick here. What do you think about the total? And is there any shot that the Cavs can cover?
No, I do like what you did though there by buying it down a point. When I was looking at this game earlier today, I actually threw the Celtics money line in a parlay with, I believe it was the Nets and the Lakers. Just because they're at this number, maybe at that 6.5, I think maybe you get into some dicey area, but I mean, the Celtics are still the better team. Two teams just going opposite directions, really. You got one trying to fight for a top pick, one trying to, get through the playoffs as much as possible. Get to the playoffs, I guess.
Treading water was the term I was really digging for before the start of the show. Treading water, the Celtics. Yeah, I took the Celtics at the minus 5.5, parlayed also with the Nets and a money line. That's probably my best bet for the night. I just feel really comfortable with it. Like I said, Cavaliers, 2 out of their last 20 games, they've only covered 5.5 points. Just stink. They're stinkers. They're terrible. They're awful. Goodness sakes. Is there anyone in particular that they're missing tonight? I mean,
Darius Garland, maybe. Is he back? I know he sat out Monday.
They've been missing Osman, but they're also they've been missing Garland, but they're also going to be missing Osman tonight. Excuse me. So Dean Wade is going to be starting at the 3, Isaac Okoro at the 2, of course, Sexton at the 1, brain dead Kevin Love at the 4, and of course, Jared Allen at the 5. I'm sure you've seen that highlight, right? Of Kevin Love just like tossing it to the other team. Like, what in the world? I mean, my goodness, Blake Griffin wasn't even jumping. You're just giving the ball to the other team straight up, man. I mean, James Harden was just wearing the fat suit. I don't know what's worse out of the 3, So even with Boston tonight, like I said, all these guys are out, right? Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown's been out for a bit already, right? Pritchard, Romeo Langford, Evan Fournier, Jason Tatum, and Tristan Thompson will be starting tonight. I still like them even with their depleted roster over just an enamored, bad Cleveland roster. Going to be hammering that spread. 219. Any love? I kind of feel the under here.
I still like the unders. A fully healthy Celtics team sometimes trended in those low numbers, right. And I don't like the Cavs to do much here.
All right, gotcha. So with Boston, their remaining games, they're going to have Minnesota and the Knicks at home. Can they close those out?
Knicks and who was the other one?
Minnesota on the road, though, for Minnesota.
Ooh, I don't know. Minnesota's been playing some teams tough lately. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think they need to get some of these other players back. Do you know if like Kemba or any of them are going to be back before the end of the season?
Kemba's just out because it's a back-to-back. That's all. Kemba played yesterday, I believe. Yeah, they're playing back-to-back games. I'm pretty positive Kemba played yesterday.
Yeah, then I think they could close that out if they get some help for Jason Tatum.
Why won't they just play him a little bit more? I mean, we're getting into the playoffs. Like, if you have back-to-backs in the playoffs, like you can't sit out Kemba. Like, what the hell? It really drives me nuts. Obviously, we're not worried about Cleveland's upcoming opponents, but we'll dip back in some of those other ones we just missed too. We were supposed to be going over those. My bad. But next up, we've got Trailblazers and the Jazz. This will be a really fun game. Right now, it's paying dead even money on the money line, -110 for the Trailblazers and -120 for the Jazz. But a nice little bet that I took was the Trailblazers at +1 at -110. It's the same odds as the money line, so I took the point. What do you like here? We also have a really big total, 234.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right there. Take the point, then at least you're playing for a push at some point.
Right.
And I like the Trailblazers to win outright. I like I said earlier when we were going over Dame Lillard prop, they're playing. They're playing for something. And not saying the Jazz aren't, but they're kind of sitting more in the driver's seat. They're not necessarily worried about much. So I like the Trailblazers here. If I was to touch on the over-under, what do we got? 234?
It's a big number still.
That is. I mean, Jordan Clarkson just went off for 41 the other night, but I think I like the under there.
Yeah, I like the under too. I think there's going to be some defense played in this one, especially early on. What was it? Portland, they went off for 140 up against Houston, 124 up against San Antonio. I think they will do their part, but I think you're right. At the end of this game, Utah is going to get in a situation like, guys, we don't need to waste our breath for this. Like, we're in the first in the conference. They're probably still going to finish first in the conference. The remaining games for Utah, you're looking at OKC and Sacramento. They don't need to win tonight. They have a 2-game lead ahead of Phoenix. So I don't love the over at 234. Utah just doesn't need to put out that effort. They are at home, and if they've got some fans in there, they might prefer to play well for them because it is their last home game. These next 2 games are going to be in OKC and Sacramento. So I'm not sure what the deal is there with fans in Utah, if they're in or out. I know most teams have them in now, but for Portland, their remaining games, you're looking at Phoenix and at Denver. Those are tough. Those are
2 tough teams, yeah.
And Denver doesn't want to lose. Like, I could see Phoenix being comfortable with just like the 2 seed. Maybe they beat Phoenix, who's actually kind of like trending down right now. They haven't been playing that well as of recently. But I would expect Portland to beat Phoenix, but lose to Denver. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like you said, Suns trending in the wrong direction. Last night they blew away a lead against the Warriors. So yeah, I think they probably split those 2 games. Denver's still playing great basketball since they've lost Jamal Murray. I would have loved to see Jamal Murray on this team because I really think that we could have seen a bunch of good teams in the West. Really, I don't think it would have been a clear cut for anybody. Not saying it is now, but I think it would have been even more teams in that hunt.
Well, it's just really the whole lot of them too, right? Will Barton, Monty Morris, they both were injured. Obviously, have Jamal Murray out for the season, but that really took a toll on them. Having to really load up Campazzo on points, or minutes. I'm sorry, but that guy's just been going off. Like, he's been lighting up the box score. That's our guy. Take it to the Hizzy Campazzo.
I was gonna say I might have to get a Campazzo jersey.
He's like a 30-year-old rookie. It's awesome. Just, you know what? Screw the Euro League, buddy. Come over here and make some real money. All right. Next one we have up is Pelicans and the Mavericks. Pelicans 9-point dogs on the road, +355 on the money line. Mavericks big favorites, -455. Pelicans, of course, going to be out of or not have Zion Williamson in the lineup. So you're looking at their starting lineup: Alexander Walker, Eric Bledsoe, Najee Marshall, James Johnson, and Willie Herman Gomez.
Oh, wow.
I mean, can they cover? They've been covering. Well,
I was going to say that number's still tall.
No Lonzo either.
Oh, yeah, no Lonzo now as well.
But they're 8-2 in their last 10 ATS.
Yeah, and we're also talking about the Mavericks. We don't know about Porzingis yet. You know what? I'm going to go with the Pelicans. Keep it rolling. I think they'll cover the 9 points.
They cover?
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Yeah, I think they can. It's a big number.
Yeah, I like them there. And then who we got? 224. I'll take the over on that, actually.
I'm taking the under. Give me like a 110, 101 type of game.
Yeah. Okay.
And they barely cover. They itch it out with some free throws or something at the end of the game. Dallas is in that parlay, so I got the Nets, Celtics, Mavericks, and Hawks. That wraps up that one. That's a 5-gamer. 35 pays about 86, so 35 to flip to over 100. And then I had the Trailblazers at the +1, and then the Nets and the Celtics. Celtics covering the 5.5 and the Nets money line. All right, last game we got up is the Rockets and the Lakers, and LeBron is not playing tonight. Woo! Thought he was going to play last night. Thought he was going to play tonight. What's with this guy? He's driving me nuts. We at least we got James Harden back tonight. We're looking at an 11-point spread, but let me see if that's updated now because they may have changed that since LeBron's announcement.
I've seen it 8.5.
Oh, 8.5. You don't say. I'm looking at 9, so I see the Lakers -9. Whatever, splitting hairs. Lakers still -500 on the money line. I wanted to put something on them. I mean, obviously, we're not getting a good amount of value here. What I really like is the under 221. I feel like that's pretty safe. If we can't hit over 219.5 with the Knicks, then we're not hitting 221 with the Rockets.
You know, I'm going to disagree there just because we've seen every time the past 2 times that the Rockets have played the Bucks, a very good team, some of these young guys are just going off. I don't know if it's like they just want to prove that they are, one of those. And I mean, if LeBron was in the game, I'm definitely taking the under there, but I'm going to take the over here. I think we'll see a high scoring game actually.
Well, we got Kevin Porter out, Nwaba, Gordon, Brown, Bradley out.
Maybe.
So your starting lineup. Yeah, your starting lineup is DJ Augustine, Jeffries, Jayshawn Tate, maybe Woods if he's healthy, and Kelly Olynyk.
All right, scratch what I said. Just erase that from the record. We're gonna take the under. I thought Kevin Porter was in.
Kuzma's a game time decision. Caldwell Pope is a game time decision. If they really just want to blow this one out and give some guys some extra rest, that could be the case. So I'm going to slam on the under, and I'm actually doing that right now.
I think if they can win their net, what do they got left? 4 games left for the Lakers. Let's see.
Yeah, no, the Lakers just have the Pacers and New Orleans. That's it. They should win both of those games, in my opinion. But
can they move up to the 6? I think they can, can't they?
So right now they're in the 7th seed, and they are 1 game behind Dallas, who I'm very confident is going to win tonight. Dallas and Portland are tied with the same record at 40 and 29, and they are the 5th and 6th seed. I'm still betting on Portland to win tonight, but that's their best shot is, Portland, who are their remaining opponents? They're looking at Phoenix and Denver, like we touched on. We're saying they're going to split those. So realistically, Portland's got it tough. Utah tonight, Phoenix and Denver. The nice thing is that, Utah just doesn't need this win tonight, right? Like they should have a little bit of an easier matchup this evening. I would hope that Utah would be playing a little more relaxed. I'm really heavy on Portland tonight, but I do believe they'll split those last 2 games there. So let's say they finish, 42 and 30. You would need the Lakers to essentially win outright. They would have to win every game. So they have to win tonight, very winnable game. Indy and New Orleans, very winnable. And I think that would push them over the top, at least back into the 6th seed. But is LeBron going to play?
Yeah, that'll really come down to it. Maybe he does. I don't know. If they were smart, they probably just rest him for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, James Harden came out and said, hey, I want to play a few games. I really want to get back into it before the playoffs start. So, I don't hate that. Speaking of which, the Nets, they have Chicago and Cleveland remaining. They should win tonight up against San Antonio. I see them winning outright. Some others that we may have missed here. Washington, they're closing out with Cleveland and Charlotte. I think we fully expect them to win both of those games.
Both of them. Yeah,
right. And then Atlanta, they've got Orlando and Houston. We fully expect them to win those games. Same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Let's jump into a few others that we have listed here because we want to kind of run through those. The 76ers, they have Miami and Orlando. They're Orlando twice. I'm assuming they're going to spank Orlando, even with bench players. Miami, and getting any upside for them?
No, I think the Sixers will run away with that one.
Okay, so then Miami has Milwaukee and Detroit after that. Is that a split?
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Okay.
say so. They probably beat the Pistons.
So then Miami realistically then is only winning one more game this season, and it's going to be against the Pistons because then they would just have the 76ers and Milwaukee. That would put them at 39 and 33. I mean, they're really in the thick of it. Atlanta's at fourth, same record, 38 and 31. The Knicks, 4 through 6 is all the same record, 38 and 31. Atlanta, Miami, and the New York Knicks. So the Knicks, their remaining schedule, I guess we'll just kind of play on that same theme. They have San Antonio, Charlotte, and Boston. They're going to win outright.
Yeah, I think so at least.
So that puts them into the 40s. That could propel them into the they'd be tied with Atlanta. So they'll probably finish the 5th seed because I don't see Atlanta. Atlanta's up by 6 now. I mean, tonight's their opportunity to lose. I don't see them losing to Orlando and Houston, right?
Yeah.
So if they didn't, then they would be at 40 and 31. We would need, Washington to win tonight essentially for the Knicks to move ahead of them. So I would see it as Milwaukee at 3, Atlanta at 4, the Knicks at 5, and probably Miami at 6 because Boston, they can't move up. They're 35 and 34. Their remaining opponents, like we mentioned, are Minnesota and the Knicks. So they're probably going to split and most likely obviously win tonight. So that would give them an extra 2 wins. Yeah, the 7th spot is the highest that they can go. It's the highest that they can go. Let's see who else that we may have missed here. Milwaukee, they've got Indiana, Miami, and Chicago. Is that a 3-game sweep? I gotta think so.
I mean, I guess. Go ahead. Who do you think gives them the most trouble there? Indiana?
I guess I don't think so though. I mean, I was saying Indiana was going to give the Lakers the most trouble of their schedule, but Milwaukee right now they're just a much deeper team. Fully healthy. So I got to say it's a 3-0 sweep to close out the season.
Yeah.
That would put them at 47 and 25, but Brooklyn, their remaining games, they have Chicago and Cleveland, and they should win tonight. So that'll put them at 48. I still think Philly's going to ride out their final 3 games, or does they just have 2? Yeah, they have that. So if Philly rides out with 3 wins, they'll finish first. Brooklyn still second, Milwaukee still third, Atlanta 4th. Like we said, the Knicks we're assuming are going to finish 5th based off of their finish. Miami at 6, Boston at 7. Charlotte, I should have them on this list. They've got the Clippers, Knicks, and Washington, so that's 3 losses. That should push. You agree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that pushes Charlotte to 33 and 39. I don't know if that'll push them out to the 9th or the 10th spot, because Washington is at 32 and 37 right now, and their remaining opponents are Cleveland and Charlotte, but they're probably going to lose tonight. So that would put them at 34 and 38. That would actually put them ahead of Charlotte, and they could actually be in like that 7-8 game where they need to lose 2 games. So that'd be great for them. Indiana is going to be the biggest factor, though. Honestly, I could see Indiana losing their final 3. Milwaukee, Lakers, and Toronto.
Milwaukee, Lakers, Toronto. Yeah, I mean, they really could. It depends on what team comes out. For the Lakers, that'll be entertaining to see. I mean, if we get Sabonis and Karis LeVert both having triple doubles, they could sneak and get one of those wins.
That's a heavy ask, though. I mean, I love Karis LeVert. I love Sabonis. I had both of them on my team in fantasy this year, but that's a tall ask, Yeah. I mean, it's one game, right? It's a playing game. It's one game. We don't know what we're going to get. I'm kind of looking forward to that excitement of like college basketball transcending into the NBA. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. All right, let's see what else we have here. Kind of shift over to the West. So in the West, we got Utah, their remaining games. OKC and Sacramento, they're going to win those out. We're saying that they're going to lose tonight. So Utah should finish at 52 and 20 is what we're saying. I don't believe Phoenix is going to be able to catch them with that. Phoenix, they've got Portland and San Antonio times 2. I think they're probably going to beat Portland. No, we said they're going to lose to Portland, right? They're going to lose to Portland and then win the next 2. So
maybe.
Either way.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to catch it. That's the main point. Like, I don't think they're going to catch the 1st seed, so they're going to finish at 2. The Clippers, let's see, they're not playing tonight. Do I have them up? I don't have them up. I don't have their remaining games, but they're 46 and 20. If you have it handy, I mean, I can move on to the next one really quick. I know I have Denver. I have Denver. Denver finishes out with Minnesota, Detroit, Portland. I feel like they win out. Honestly, I feel like they could beat Portland in that last game.
All right. So the Clippers here, they got the Hornets on the road, the Rockets on the road, and the Thunder on the road. So really,
wins.
I think 3 easy wins.
Yeah, so they should, even if they let I was about to say Kemba, if they let George and Kawhi sit, like they should be fine. They should win all 3 of those. But Denver, like I said, they had Minnesota, Detroit, Portland. They either go 2-1 or 3-0, one or the other. I could see them not caring about the Portland game because they're actually about 5 games ahead of Portland right now. So realistically, they win those next 2 and they bail on it and they give Portland that win. So Portland should actually, if that's the case, yeah, Portland could win outright. Hell, they could win outright. They got that Dame time swag. Let's see, Dallas. I have them with Toronto and Minnesota and New Orleans tonight. I feel like those should be 3 in a row. That should be 3 wins. That would put them at 43. And really, yeah, it's up to like Portland and Dallas to finish outright if they want the 5th or 6th spot. It's really just, do you want to play Denver or do you want to play the Clippers? I feel like you want to play Denver in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, do the Lakers even want to move up to the 6th spot? Like I don't know if you're the Lakers, would you rather play the Clippers in the first round, like the real round, or Phoenix?
Yeah, Phoenix in that case, I would assume. But so wait, does 7-8 have a playing game? So
7 and 8 play each other. The winner goes all automatically to the two seed, right? Mm-hmm. The loser, I'm sorry, because you have to lose 2 games essentially for the 7 and 8. The loser plays the winner of the 9 and 10. And then the winner of that game moves into the 7 seed, or I'm sorry, the 8 seed, and they play Utah, who it should be.
Got it.
Right. Okay. So beyond that, like we just said, we kind of talked on the Lakers a bit. Golden State will go with their remaining games. Golden State, they have New Orleans and Memphis. I'd say they lose to Memphis, actually.
I don't know. I have a tough time doing that. I think that Golden State's kind of clicking on all cylinders. We just saw them beat the Suns. I'm going to have Golden State winning that.
And
but
Utah.
For the sake of argument, what would that put them?
Let's say they finish exactly that. Right now they're 37 and 33. So let's say they split. They're 38 and 34. They wouldn't go any higher than the 7 seed. That's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of what happens, they can't go higher than the 7 seed anyways, and the 7 and 8 are playing each other.
Got it.
The only benefit of making it in the 7th and 8th is that you need 2 losses to get eliminated from the playoffs before you make it into an actual round.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe that they're going to go to 9th, but Memphis, I think that they would prefer that, right? So that like Memphis, they close with they closed with Sacramento twice in Golden State. So, I mean, they could finish 3-0 and they could move up if they wanted to 39 and 33. And they've just been playing really gritty basketball right now. They play great, offense and defense. Love their lineup. And I think, depth wise, they just have more to offer than just, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right. But I could see that. I mean, like you said, we just saw Golden State smashing the door against Phoenix and Utah. So
it's just that Steph Curry factor that I think that if he wants to take over some games, he can. Just a matter of if they're motivated to move around in the standings at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think that they could even try throwing a guy like Dylan Brooks on Steph Curry, just get someone with a little bit more length. They'll double him. Like they will make it difficult for him. I love that lineup. Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, Jaren Jackson, and Valanciunas, like fully healthy, like top to bottom. I just don't like. Would be a great 7-game series. We'd only get 1 game out of it, though. I'm still going to take Memphis on that, especially if it's like in a play-in situation. If they somehow wind up playing each other in the play-in, I would be on Memphis all day. To me, obviously, Golden State, they have the fireworks with Steph Curry. They have other shooters. They have Wiggins. They have Wiseman down in the paint. That's really come along at the back end of the year. Been very reliable for them. But top to bottom, I just like Memphis better, or more, I should say.
Yeah, I just need a little bit more out of Ja Morant. We saw a little bit of a sophomore slump from him. Yeah,
I agree. We definitely could have gotten a lot more out of him, but he did get hurt early in the year. I think that played a role. And it's just a weird year, had no fans. Now they have fans, the way they've got everything set up with COVID and everything. Atlanta now up by 4. Just checking in on that. But beyond that, we've got San Antonio. I don't think that they can do anything. They have Brooklyn tonight. That's a loss. Was it New York, Knicks, and then Phoenix? I think they're done. I feel like, honestly, New Orleans, I don't think they're going to, but they have a shot. If they were to win tonight, if they were able to pull off an upset, they had a shot to make it in, but I just don't see it happening. I don't have Sacramento's games up, but again, I don't see them making any splashes. We've already mentioned, I know somebody had 2 games against them that we said that they were just going to roll over them. So I think that's going to be the case. You're going to have San Antonio, Memphis, and then 9 and 10. Golden State and the Lakers in a play-in. One of those teams have to lose twice to get knocked out. That's going to be wild. That'd be a crazy play-in situation. But I still feel like Dallas and Portland are going to finish out with 3 straight wins. And even if the Lakers do, they're going to be a game behind, and they're going to wind up being in that play-in. So let's jump over to some over-unders for these last couple games tonight. We'll just check out some highlights on them. But before we do, guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/take it to the Hizzy. Let's go. All right, so we're going to jump into no, I don't want live. I was looking for the back end games. We'll start with Utah and Portland. We touched on Bogdanovich. What do you think about Carmelo Anthony in this one? 11.5 points. I kind of like the over for that.
Yeah, I think that's just too low of a number. That's actually how I've been making some of my money, is finding some of those guys who are maybe second, third options for him. He's obviously not second, but finding those guys who are in the low teens. Mikal Bridges let me down yesterday, but I've been able to cash those when they're in that 11 to 13 range. So I'd take the over there. Yeah,
I really like that. Dame Lillard, we had at 28.5 earlier. The number's up to 29, 29.5. Good God. Let's look for another points one. Jordan Clarkson coming off that 40-point performance like you mentioned earlier. 23.5. You like it? I'm going to take it.
He draws a tough matchup going against the Trailblazers guards, but I like what he could do. I think he gets more involved in this offense with Donovan Mitchell out, so I'll take the over as well.
Yeah, I like the over there. Let's jump over to some assists. What do you think about Joe Ingles, 6.5? Seems a bit tall. I like the under.
Let's see what has Joe Ingles been doing lately. Any idea if he's had any? Let me get a game log up here.
If he's been dropping consistently over 6.5, it's a big surprise to me. That's for certain.
I think he had a game where he drew a start in there not too long ago, and that was his only game.
He's going to start tonight. He's going to start tonight.
I don't know. I'm taking the over on that. Joe Ingles on Monday against the Warriors had 5 points. So there he hit the under. His previous 5 before that, he was all double digits.
I see. Well, that's for points. We're looking at assists, but the
assists.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But he's been hitting the
I'm still
assists.
Gonna take that. Yeah, in all those games, I'm still taking that. Taking the over.
It's still news to me that he's doing this. There was a 14 assist game against the Lakers a while back. I'm looking at here, but 9, 9, 7, 9, 7, and then 5. I'm still going to take the under. I'm still going to take it. They're trying to reel us in. That recency bias, Joe Ingles. I mean, the ball movement's there. That's why he's getting those. That's why he's grabbing them. All right, let's look at some rebounds really quick. I'm looking for a low number. Carmelo Anthony, 2.5.
Oh, you gotta think. I don't know. He does a tough matchup against. Rudy Gobert is going to be eating up a lot of those rebounds down there.
But he's coming off the bench because they're starting Covington and Nurkic.
Yeah. I'm going to take the over. It's just too low of a number to really be taking an under, I feel like.
So this is ridiculous. His last game, or his past 2 games, he's actually been inactive. So he's coming back tonight. The game before that, he wasn't really in a lot. It was 18 minutes, 1 for 3, no rebounds. But he pretty much just trades these games 5, 0, 3, 2, 6, 2, 3, 3, 4. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say he can hit it, just because out of his last 10, he's pretty much hitting it, unless he's getting hurt or leaving early or just for some reason not playing a lot of minutes. So if he's back tonight, let me see here. Just going to recheck the lineup really quick so we're not playing with some fool's gold here. Looks like he should be fine. Just coming off the bench, that's all. Yeah, he's in. No worries.
I'm going to actually put that in right now. I'm going to take the over.
I like that. Who has more rebounds tonight? Well, it's going to be Gobert. I'll give you like this: Gobert -4 or Nurkic +4 on rebounds between the two.
Ooh. I'm gonna take Gobert -4. I think.
Yeah, I've
just been a little disappointed with Nurkic. I don't think he's been as physical since getting hurt earlier in the year, and Rudy Gobert has just been eating up boards.
Always does. What do you think about Enes Kanter at 8.5 coming off the bench?
I'll go over on that, just because that's kind of what Trailblazers put him in there for, just to eat up big man minutes and grab as many boards as he can.
Grab some glass. Yeah, I'm going to take the over as well. I feel like he's, if anything, a little bit better of a matchup for Gobert, just with his size, his frame. So yeah, I'm going to go with the over on that as well. Let's jump into the Lakers and Houston game here. Let's go with points. Kelly Olynyk, 17.5. I'm going to take the under.
I got burned not too long ago on Kelly Olynyk. I took the under on his points at a very similar number, and the man went off for like 23. I think that was against the Bucks not too long ago. Yeah, actually, no, I'm going to take the over. Someone's got to score for that team.
True. I'm going to take the under. It's going to be a tall order with Drummond and Davis. Obviously, still no LeBron tonight, but I'm going to take the under. Speaking of the Lakers, 16.5. Kyle Kuzma taking the over.
He's out. I thought
he's out. I thought I said he's in.
Or he's maybe he's questionable.
He's questionable. I think was what it was.
Okay.
Let me see here. LeBron out. Anthony Davis. Oh snap! Anthony Davis is out. Not good. Not good.
Hey, I love that Kelly Olynyk over even more, baby.
Unreal. It's killing me. Lakers are just pulling it now. They're just like, we don't need these guys playing Houston. They're still gonna win. Let's check out some line movement on that though. I wonder what that did. So they were at 9. We were looking at 8, right? And now, Jesus, when this thing refreshes, it kicks me out. I hate that.
Mine's still sitting at 8.5 right now.
Yeah, I'm still looking at 8.5 -450. No real change. I don't know how recent that was or if the books just haven't corrected, but oh man, fucking the Lakers. Just no fun Lakers.
Shit game altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we're going to jump into our final takes for the NBA Finals. Who we're saying is going to win it? We got our odds up here. The Lakers, they're not in first, but they're in second. The Brooklyn Nets are at +200, and the Lakers are at +250. I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when healthy, they have all the pieces. They have. I mean, their roster creativity that they could have, at full health. The Lakers, absolutely brilliant. I would love if they had, LeBron at the 1, Kuzma at the 2, Davis, Drummond out there. Who am I missing?
Just extra tall.
Talon Horton Tucker. Yeah, Tucker, Kuzma, Davis, and Drummond, and LeBron. Like, it would be ridiculous. Obviously, they have Dennis Schroeder. If he's healthy, he should be in the starting lineup, right? But I mean, they have so many options, with the depth that they have. But are they going to be the team that does it? I mean, when we're looking at the odds here, honestly, like, where'd you go odds? I like some of these back end teams, like the Trailblazers at +5,000, the Dallas Mavericks at +4,000, the Suns at +1,000. Obviously, they're trending down right now. You know what? I not to win it all, but the Knicks at +5,000. If I could just get them to come out of the East, I might be interested in that, but not to win the whole thing. I don't think they could beat anybody in the West. And if you've been watching Knicks games recently, you clearly see that they're not beating up teams out of the Western Conference. But who's sticking out to you? Are you still going with like the heavy favorites, or are you willing to take a dark horse here?
No, I think the value for the Lakers right now just isn't a good enough number. I really like some of these other ones. Even the Nets, I don't necessarily love the number you're getting it at there. It's a possibility this is the best number you see if they just kind of steamroll through teams in the playoffs. But I like you. I mean, you hit a lot of them. I think the Clippers at +500. You gotta like that.
There you go.
I mean,
there you go.
You're getting a top elite team with stars at +500. You can make some easy bank there. Sixers at +800. I don't know if I like them to win it all, but I do like them to have a good shot to come out of the East. Yeah, Suns is another one, plus 1,000. You got to give it a look. And of course, I always love my Bulls plus 10,000.
How are they even on this list?
That's what I'm saying. Just kidding. Don't bet that if you're watching. Don't bet that.
I couldn't believe that they were on the list.
Bet it with me.
Yeah, right. I couldn't believe that they were on the list. They also have the Pelicans at like plus 25,000. Like, why would we bet? Like, what? They just get somebody on clicking on the wrong one. What do you think about Golden State at plus 7,500? Make a run?
I would be more interested probably to see them come if there was a bet to have them come out of the West. I think it's going to be a tall task for them just because of who they're missing. You know, obviously Klay Thompson has played all season. Wiseman's out for the season. Oubre is a little banged up now. I just don't know if they can overcome some of these teams. If you have the Warriors or the Jazz, don't you think the Jazz's team play is going to be better than what the Warriors can do by just throwing Steph Curry going off for 40, maybe 50 points every couple nights or something?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if those two are, matched up with each other, you're going to take Utah all day, but crazy stuff happens. We already saw Donnie Mitchell get hurt. We could see somebody else get hurt in the early rounds or something like that, and just provides more opportunity. You just keep going and going until you lose the 4 games or you get knocked out in the playoff game or play-in game. I'm sorry. They would need every little bit out of Curry, out of Poole, Wiggins, Oubre. You mentioned. And yeah, I mean, the guys in the paint would have to take a huge step forward, and I just don't see that happening. But everybody's just been on them, recently because they did just beat the Suns, they did just beat Utah, but those guys just know where they're finishing. Utah and the Suns, like they know they're going to finish at the top of the conference. I don't think the game or those games were as big to them as it was to Golden State, and really that's where I see their success. But hey, I like these guys. Jordan Poole has got a nice little stroke. Kelly Oubre can hit from outside when he's on fire. Only when he's on fire. The guy's just very inconsistent. And Wiggins, he could probably carry a little bit of the load. But yeah, out west, it's just too thick. It's just too deep. Honestly, I'm liking those options with Portland and Dallas. I kind of want to plant my flag on one of those because I feel like they have the pieces. Obviously, Dallas and Denver are kind of similar because they're relying on just like one big star, but Portland to me is deep. Like I feel like they can make a run, and you give them 7 games with anybody, and I think they can come out.
Yeah, and I mean Dame Lillard in a playoff series, that's not someone I necessarily want to go up against just because he's a stone cold killer. But I think wouldn't it be if you told me that Luka goes red hot and he's shooting lights out? I mean, is there a chance that the Mavericks are like this year's Miami Heat? Possibly.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because we could make the very same argument for Golden State, but we're saying that argument only gets them so far. So I kind of feel the same way with Dallas. Like, believe me, I want to see Luka in the finals. I think that would be amazing, but I just don't think Dallas has the depth to do it. They have the shooters, they just don't have the big men, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, with Cantor and Nurkic in Portland, Covington and Melo, like they have 4 guys that I would trust. That I would be willing to throw out there at any point in the game.
And they've got Norman Powell as well.
They've got Norman Powell, who is doing some really big things for Toronto before coming over to Portland. So, yeah, I love him in there as well. I'm going to plant my flag with the Portland Trailblazers at plus 5,000. That's where I'm going to go. I would like to go with the 76ers at plus 800, but I just don't think that they're going to get it done. I feel like their schedule has been very, very soft to end the year, and I'm starting to feel like someone's just going to pop them in the second or third round. I don't know if they're going to make it to they can make it to the finals. I don't think they'll finish it out. Like I just feel like the East will actually give them a tougher time than they're expecting because, like I said, their schedule's been really soft. Maybe I can get it pulled up here. Actually, they just lost a game. I said that they were going to finish last week. I said they were going to finish the year with no losses. And it's pretty much been the case. I think they just lost one though to Milwaukee. And that was kind of like the one that we were talking about last week. Like, they could lose that one. So yeah, before this Milwaukee loss, or I'm sorry, Indiana. It was Indiana. They had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. But listen to the opponents: OKC, Atlanta, San Antonio, Chicago, Houston, New Orleans, Detroit. Like, The games before that, they had lost 4 in a row. Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Golden State, like they don't really seem that fine tune up against these good teams. So I'm going to say that their run is going to end short, probably in the conference finals. If I got a team like the Nets up against the Portland Trail Blazers, give me the Blazers all day long, all day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have a lot more in case someone has an off game. You're not so dependent on it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, who's your team? Plan it. Firm it down.
Oh man. All right, just who I think's going to win it, or if I had a bet.
Yep. Both, whatever.
All right. I'm gonna go Brooklyn Nets. I've been high on them all year. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
with them.
no, you've been banging that drum. I can account for that, so no worries. I mean, they're the favorite, right? They're at the plus 200. Plus 200 is still really great value on any bet you're ever going to make, right? Like,
yeah, I'd take it.
Believe me, the odds that 200 plus 200 bets are usually not this good to actually win outright. So, but let's jump into some live betting here, and we'll close down the show. Really appreciate everyone who's ridden with us so far tonight. Let's see. I'm going to switch websites here because my other one wants to make me log in, and I don't have that type of time. But while I do waste a little bit of it, you guys can smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/take it to the Hizzy. Let's go. All right. First up, we've got the Wizards over the Hawks, 59-56. They are absolutely covering. They're up 3 points. I still think the Hawks are going to win this one. Right now, it's a pick 'em. Wizards to win is still at plus 140 with a lead, mind you, at halftime. And the over-under is at 232.5. Spread is Wizards plus 3.5. Again, up 3 at halftime. Well, what do you like here, Steve?
I'm going to agree with you that I still think the Hawks win this game. I like the Wizards to cover. What did you say it's moved to now, 3 or so?
3.5, yeah.
3.5.
It was 6 even to start the game, but which I'll still take the 6 even. The 3.5, I don't know. I mean, is Russell Westbrook going to play every minute of this game? I don't know.
Well, and I'm looking at the box score. They don't have anyone else in double digits, and it's all Russ with 25 points. So I like the Hawks to win this one, and I'll take them to cover 3.5.
Okay, cover the 3.5. I still feel like the Wizards might be able to cover. Right now, they need to blow about a 6 point lead, or blow 6 points, a 6 point margin. I'm sorry, to blow that cover of 3.5. So I'll take a close win. I'll take the Hawks win. The Wizards still cover the 3.5, 232.5, under, over.
What do we got right now? We got 61, 116 right now. No, 115.
Wow, on the nose. You got to double the halftime. I don't know. Wizards, they went on a nice little second quarter, 29-21. Hawks came out of the first quarter with a 5-point lead, 35-30. So. Really just depends on the Hawks. I think
I'm going to take the over. Hawks put up a terrible second quarter. I don't think they'll do that again. So I'm going to take the over.
All right, I'll write it with you. Next up, we've got the Nets and the Spurs. Nets are looking good, 26-16 with about 2:40 left in the first quarter. Wow, big spread now. Nets 10.5. Over-under is at 232 in this game as well. Spurs money line is at plus 360, not touching that. What do you think about the spread? 10.5 points.
It's a tall number. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Spurs to cover that. I don't have full faith in the Nets. They're doing similar to what they did last night, kind of distributing the points all the way around. Right now, their leading scorer is none other than Blake Griffin.
Stop it. That's driving me nuts. I got to pull
Except
up that
for
box
there's
score.
also only 4 people. Well, it's still early, I guess, but only 4 people have scored for the Spurs.
Only 4 people have scored. Yeah, I'm going to take the under 232.5, and I think I'm going to take the Nets to cover that because I think you might be onto something there. Man, Derozan's at 6 points in the first quarter. I wanted his under of 22.5, but I just couldn't jump on it. Yeah, these guys are missing shots. So I'm going to say the Nets cover, and we go to the under. What do you think about the total?
What was that number one more time?
Same as the Wizards and the Hawks, 232.5.
Ooh, I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I agree. And like we mentioned before the show or before the game started, the Nets have been hitting the under. They're 5 out of their last 6 have cashed the under. All right, last one that's live here. We've got the Cavs The Cavs are up 18-11. Why?
Oh, no.
Why?
Blake, what are your Celtics doing?
No, I'm blaming this all on Blake. He had to miss tonight. He would have told us. He would have told us we have to stay away from the Celtics.
Yes,
I still say the Celtics.
Fair.
I still say the Celtics come back and win this one. I don't know what they're doing right now, but they are the favorite still to win, down 7.
Damn.
The spread right now is -3 to the Celtics. I'll still take that. I have them at -5.5. They need to get their shit together. The over-under is now at 211.5. The money line, the Celtics are -165. You want to touch the Cavs at +135 money line?
No.
Blake would tell you to do it.
Yeah, I was actually hoping you were going to say that it had flipped and the Celtics had become the plus option, because if that happens here early enough in the game, I'd be all over that. Jeez, though, what a low-scoring game for this first quarter is almost wrapped up.
Jason Tatum, like, where is your pride? Like, this is the same dude who was running into LeBron James when he was a rookie. Like, yeah, you like that, LeBron? You want some more? I mean, where's that killer edge?
Yeah, sometimes you'll see him and he's like, oh, yeah, he's the next superstar of the NBA.
Right?
And another night you're like, is he in?
Oh, my gosh. He is. Tatum, he's at 5 points. He's leading. Aaron Nesmith is at 2 points, 2 rebounds. Tristan Thompson, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Like, no one is doing anything in this first quarter. The Cavs, you're looking at Isaac Okoro leading the team with 7 points. Colin Sexton with 5. I still say he hits that under of, 23.5? 26.5. 26.5. Still say he hits that under. I don't know how I feel about Tatum hitting, over 25?
28. No, he is at the 28.5. Yeah, that's not looking so hot.
Bub. I don't think so, bub. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. This dude, Tremont Waters, is getting minutes, and I hate every second of it. Give Peyton Pritchard time. He's played 2 minutes. What in the godforsaken Celtics are you doing? Oh, my goodness. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Not doing enough for them.
Yeah, that's killing me. That might burn me down tonight. I'm going to be really upset about them Celtics. That's probably going to burn me down if we can't get them to correct here. And also, the score hasn't changed since I said it was 18-11.
I agree. Smythe was just sitting there and finally got another 2 points, 20.
Yeah, there it is, 20-11. But, like, dear God, we're sitting here like talking about it forever. There's no change in the game. Oh, that's killing me. All right, you got anything else to close it down with here?
No, just everyone who's watching will be off next week, but we'll be back and ready for the playoffs and digging into playoff bets.
Yep, in a couple of weeks here. And I think for that episode, when we come back, I'm probably going to have a fucking funny mustache per the Blake because Zion is hurt. He's hurt. He's going to miss the rest of the season, and he's like 8th in total points. And I swear to God, 10.
Last week we thought, 10 you got to hit. And last week it looked like you were easily going to cash that bet.
He was like in 6th. Or something like that. It's driving me absolutely nuts. I'm going to lose another close one. It came down to week 16 for the Shark and Parker bet with me and Nick.
Yeah.
And Shark had a lead going into that game. And then Devontae Parker has his best game with Tua Tagovailoa of the year. Oh, it's driving me nuts. I'm gonna lose. He's probably gonna finish like 12 through 15 or something, maybe even worse. I mean, he's not gonna play any more games, so he's gonna be done. Driving me absolutely crazy. So, all right, cool. Yeah, like Steve said, we're gonna be out next week, so we'll be back in 2 weeks in full swing for the playoffs. Take care, be well. We'll see you later.